Maintaining mental health is an ongoing journey that involves understanding and addressing the deeper issues behind what initially seems to be bothering you. In this video, we will talk about tips to improve your mental health, so please relax when you listen to them. Consider is that the thing that's currently upsetting you might not be the root of the issue. Oftentimes, it's just the tip of an iceberg of many upsetting things, and the one you're fixating on is just the most recent or visible one. The real issue you need to address is likely deeper and might be something you're subconsciously avoiding. And when it comes to addressing these problems, it's okay to seek help. There's no shame in talking to a therapist, even though it might be scary. They can provide a safe environment to help unpack your thoughts and emotions before they pile up too high. If that's too daunting, even talking to yourself aloud about your problems can be a good first step. Remember, it's okay to be afraid, but don't let fear hold you back. It's never too late to start healing. Any progress, no matter how small, is still progress. It's about recognizing that healing isn't all or nothing, but a gradual process of small steps. Even the smallest of achievements, like brushing your teeth on a day you're too down to shower, or managing a light stretch when a full yoga routine seems overwhelming, count as victories. Essentially, it's making sure that each day is a non-zero day where you do at least one thing towards your well-being or goals. And forgiving yourself when you can't accomplish certain tasks is essential too. Plus, don't underplay the impact of exercise and self-improvement activities, including reading. Every bit counts towards your mental well-being. Being mindful of the content you consume, especially online, is crucial for maintaining good mental health. It's like a viewing diet. Just as you'd avoid food that is harmful to your physical health, you should steer clear of media that negatively impacts your state of mind. Also, there's nothing wrong with indulging in lighthearted and feel-good content like children's books, sitcoms, anime, or even cartoons, regardless of your age. They can relax your mind and bring you joy. Take control of your social media feeds as well, curating it so it brings more positivity into your life instead of stress and negativity. Remember, it's not about staying uninformed, it's about maintaining a balance and prioritizing your mental well-being. It's great to support and care for the ones you love, but you're not responsible for their happiness. It's okay to reach out and help, but don't sacrifice your own mental health or happiness in the process. Furthermore, dealing with codependency can be a struggle, but it's crucial to focus on self-esteem and not always trying to avoid conflict. Most importantly, don't let your happiness be dictated by someone else. Be sure to find happiness within yourself. Don't take criticism from anyone you wouldn't go to for advice. Also, it's important to remember that just because someone doesn't see your value, it doesn't mean you don't have any. These are both important and often underrated points. Keeping up with regular exercise is a great mental health tip. While it's not a magic cure for any and every mental health issue, remember that your physical health can have a big impact on your mental health. Also, finding physical activities that you genuinely enjoy, whether it's tennis, skiing, or maybe even walking your dog, can take away the drag of staying active. But do remember, going to frequent walks, long or short, can really help relax your mind and body. For those who find exercise challenging or mentally draining, starting with light exercises or finding enjoyable activities may be the key. Just remember, the activity doesn't have to seem like exercise to benefit you. It just has to get you moving. If you're struggling, there are lots of communities and resources out there that can support you in staying active and taking care of your mental health. To take care of your mental health, it's crucial to surround yourself with people who genuinely care for you. Keep in touch with friends who check in on you, ask about your feelings, show interest in your life, attend events that you plan, and vice versa. Make sure to balance your circle with people who both motivate you and are fun to be around. But remember, showing and reciprocating care is just as important. Don't shy away from drawing boundaries or eliminating toxic individuals from your life because they can negatively impact your well-being. But also, understand that not all friendships or relationships have to be intimate, as it's okay to have varied levels of connections. Also, make a regular habit of reaching out to those you trust when you're feeling low. It's important to recognize and respect your limits, and don't let others make you feel down. At the same time, try to engage in positivity-focused activities or conversations. You might want to avoid individuals who consistently respond negatively, for their negativity can affect you adversely. Ultimately, your mental health matters, and it's okay to be selfish in this regard. People are generally too preoccupied with their own lives to focus on judging what you do or say. Worrying excessively about what others may think can lead to self-sabotaging behaviors. Techniques like treating new people you meet as you would a best friend or moving the conversation to topics you enjoy can help alleviate anxiety. Also, understanding that everyone has embarrassing moments and that most people won't remember or even care about these moments can be very liberating. Lastly, remember that you are more than just your own or others' perceptions of you. Moving your body regularly, regardless of how you do it, can positively impact your mental health. It could be as simple as stretching or walking. It doesn't have to be intense workouts. The main goal is to enjoy the process instead of worrying about losing weight or getting toned. This simple shift from exercising for body image to exercising for enjoyment can make a huge difference. Plus, regular physical activity can help prevent health complications down the line. It's all about finding what works for you and what you find fun. Surround yourself with a supportive medical team. Trust in your doctor plays a major role in it. Also, keeping your thoughts in check, focusing on the positive aspects, cool memories, or how you've overcome difficult times can totally shift your perspective. And of course, for those things that bum you out, like climate change for me, I'd say steer clear of situations that trigger those feelings. You could try doing something positive in regard to those triggers, like how I chose to contribute towards resolving environmental issues. Here's a hack. If social media gets you down, clean up your timeline. Unfollow accounts that make you feel anxious and tune into the ones that bring a smile on your face. It's a process, but totally worth the peace of mind. And don't worry, important news will always find a way to reach you. One valuable mental health tip that everybody should know is to treat intrusive thoughts just like a strange dream. Instead of interacting, arguing, or obsessing over them, it's actually more helpful to simply observe and let them go. It's like dealing with a wild conspiracy theory on the internet. Don't waste your energy and time on it. They're just chemical reactions in your brain and not something to base your reality on. Everybody should hear that depression is like a deceptive monster that tries to convince you to do everything that keeps you sick. It can discourage you from physical activities, socializing, or eating right. To combat this, you might need to start doing things that this beast of depression tells you not to do, like exercising, eating healthily, and spending time with others. However, it's also important to acknowledge that everyone's experience with mental health issues like depression and bipolar disorder is very unique and personal. While one individual's tactics might help them manage their symptoms, those same methods could be ineffective or even detrimental to someone else. Therefore, it's critical to find a balance that suits your personal needs and situation. It's also crucial to dispel the notion that if you really wanted to, you could instantly overcome your mental health troubles. Experiences of mental health struggles vary greatly, with some individuals needing medication and others finding relief through lifestyle changes or therapy. We need to challenge and reinterpret the negative thoughts we have about ourselves, but we should also be patient, as improvement can take time and often requires professional help. Mental health is a complex beast and varies for everyone. It's important to navigate this journey at a pace that feels right for you and to not let anyone make you feel less than for struggles that are genuinely challenging. Reach out, seek help, and remember that it's okay to struggle. You're not alone in this. Understanding and acknowledging your feelings is key. If you're feeling anxious, for example, sit down and really think about what's causing it. It might seem tough to pick apart your emotions, but with practice, it becomes easier. This isn't some new wave idea. It's an important part of our human makeup. Our emotions control our behavior and have deep roots within us. By figuring out what leads to these feelings and how they affect your life, you can work on meaningful improvements. It's not an easy journey, but it can have a huge impact on your mental well-being. So really, it's all about facing your feelings, understanding them, and then using that knowledge to better your life. Trust me, it's a life changer. Prioritize sleep and have a consistent sleep schedule. It's a must to have a designated time for sleep, like perhaps 10:30 to 7 o'clock. You should wind down an hour before your bedtime by doing something calming. Try not to resort to alcohol or marijuana for sleep help. They tend to disrupt the quality of your sleep. Also, be patient with yourself if you're struggling with falling asleep. If you can't fall asleep in half an hour, do something relaxing for 15 minutes, then try again. Avoid napping during the day, but if you have to, limit it to 20 minutes max. Consistency is the key to a healthy sleep routine, and it'll do wonders for your mental health. If you've trouble sleeping, try muscle relaxation. It really helps in calming the mind. Try it by starting from your toe and gradually going all the up through your body. It will really help you relax and fall asleep. Improving your sleep quality can significantly benefit your mood and mental state. It really worked for me when I switched from a chaotic sleep schedule to going to bed at 9 p.m. every night. You can also check out the Joe Rogan podcast episode number 1109. It talks about sleep and might give you some useful insights. I hope this helps. Remember, it's perfectly okay to ask questions that may seem dumb. It's better to clear your doubts than to be unsure. After all, we've all had teachers who encourage this, right? Being sure is better than guessing. Don't worry too much about appearing foolish for a moment. It won't define you for the rest of your life. Asking helps your mental health. Just try keeping a sort of journal. Doesn't have to be formal. Even an audio one would do. It helps get your thoughts out there, and it's a good way to recognize your own emotions better. Plus, keeping everything in your head isn't ideal, you know? It's tough to link the dots and understand your feelings that way. Remember to take life one day at a time when things get tough, and importantly, not to compare your struggles with other successes. Nowadays, with social media, it's easy to think everyone else's life is picture perfect, but what you're seeing is just a highlight reel. Everyone has ups and downs, they just might not be showing it. Don't stress about not doing something perfectly. Even doing it poorly is better than not at all. For instance, you don't have to brush your teeth for long, just a few seconds is okay. If making a sandwich seems too much effort, just munch on the ingredients separately. Treat yourself the way you would treat your friend. If a friend was feeling down, you'd encourage them, not bring them down further, right? So why not do the same for yourself when you're feeling low? It's all about self-love and care. Everyone deserves free awards of love and support, but sometimes we forget to give them to ourselves. We all have have unwanted or intrusive thoughts, and it's normal. Don't fret yourself thinking you're going crazy. Furthermore, it's okay to have an interest in dark themes or events as long as you understand their real-life consequences. Lastly, it's essential to talk to a professional if you feel these thoughts are affecting your daily life. And remember, there's no shame in seeking help. Learning and practicing breathing techniques can certainly help during anxious or overwhelmed moments. It won't fix any deep-lying issues, that's where therapy comes in, but it can offer temporary relief and help ground you in reality. Plus, these exercises really do have physical benefits that help relieve stress and anxiety. Just give it a try when you're not too anxious as well. You'll see the difference. It's okay to distance yourself or completely cut off toxic individuals from your life, regardless of their relation to you. By doing so, you're actually making room for healthier and more supportive relationships. Trust me, this change will happen sooner than you expect. You never have to do today again. It's surprisingly comforting to remind yourself that each day only comes once. If today was tough, just remember you won't have to face it again. It's a great mantra to keep in your head. Learn to show compassion towards others, even when they direct anger at you. Instead of responding with anger yourself, try feeling empathy for them. Understand that their anger likely comes from their unique life experiences and struggles, rather than anything to do with you. By doing this, you can help change the nature of the situation and even potentially improve your own mental well-being. Try meditating because it really helps with focus and emotional connectivity. However, if you're more restless or can't seem to get into meditation, no worries. Yoga and Tai Chi are great alternatives. They're kind of like moving meditations, and they've been proven to help with mental focus and even depression. There are mindfulness apps out there too that offer both active and sitting sessions, Healthy Minds for example. Essentially, find what's best for you, but definitely give these mindful exercises a go. Substances like alcohol and cannabis can actually increase your anxiety levels. You might feel all good and fun while partying on a Saturday night, but the very next morning you could wake up feeling anxious and hopeless. So, it's key to manage our intake of these substances for our mental well-being. Just like kids, you shouldn't let your emotions run your life, but don't suppress them completely either. It's all about balance. It's crucial to remember that you're not defined by your thoughts or feelings. These can often be influenced by the less conscious parts of our brain, which can lead to insecurities and anxieties that aren't necessarily reflective of reality. It's important not to ignore these thoughts, but learn to analyze them and understand that they're not always an accurate reflection of our mental state or situation. Don't base decisions solely on these passing thoughts. Try to consider real observations and practical outcomes as well. Everyone should consider to be a good listener when someone is sharing their distressing experiences or emotions with you. Instead of attempting to silverline the situation or make it look positive, it would be more helpful and comforting to simply acknowledge their feelings and reassure them that it's okay to feel that way. When a person is expressing their suffering, being heard and understood may be what they need the most. Be mindful about your news consumption. It's good to stay informed, but if it's causing you more stress or negativity, then it's totally okay to take a break from it. Something as simple as not checking the news first thing in the morning or right before bed can make a big difference in your overall well-being. Remember, not everyone who loves or likes you does so necessarily for your benefit. They may have their own reasons for their attraction or obligation to support you. Understanding this can help you manage expectations when relationships change. Open up to others, especially those who genuinely care about you. Yes, it might have been rough before and you might have been hurt, but keeping things to yourself doesn't really help. Above everything, be kind to your mind. You're always with yourself, so make sure you express, comfort, and don't be excessively hard on yourself. That's why therapy is important. A good therapist can guide you in self-exploration. Provide yourself with enough time and space to process your feelings and emotions. Whether it's finding a quiet place or just letting your thoughts breathe for a few days or weeks, it's perfectly fine and natural. Don't punish yourself for needing some time to reflect. Chill out. More often than not, the issues we stress about don't actually happen. We're just overthinking. It's important to remember this to maintain our mental health. Happiness doesn't have to wait for life to be perfect or trouble-free. It's crucial to decide to be happy even when life is hard. It's absolutely all right to seek therapy and professional help, even if your life is not falling apart or you're not in immediate danger. Even if you appear to be functioning normally to people around you, you could still be struggling internally. Such struggles could involve feelings of self-worth or depressive thoughts. So don't hesitate to get help, even if it feels like you don't have any real issues. Your mental health is equally as important as your physical health. Reach out to professionals and take care of your mental well-being. It's okay to do so, and it's definitely all right to prioritize yourself. Avoid people and situations that only make things worse. For instance, don't reach out to a friend who has never truly understood you just to get some temporary relief. It often ends up being more isolating and frustrating when they don't comprehend your feelings. You should try out the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. It helps you refocus when you're feeling off track. You start by spotting 5 things you can see, then 4 things you can touch, listening for 3 things you can hear, pinpoint 2 things you can smell, and finally 1 thing you can taste. It's a great way to get back to reality when you're beginning to lose it. Trying out new things daily can shake things up a bit if life gets boring. You could have a meal on the balcony, indulge in an interesting magazine, explore new videos on YouTube, or just dress up nice even if you're not going out. Tiny changes like this can surprisingly brighten your day and give you a sense of achievement. Trust me, I know from my own experience. It's about learning to manage worrying. Consider this. If there's a problem you can fix, then there's no need to worry. Get to work on it instead. If there's a problem you can't fix, worrying won't change anything. It might sound dismissive, but the goal is to not let worry consume you. Instead, focus on what you can control and work around what you can't. You can't completely eliminate worry, but you can take steps to minimize its impact on your life. A mental health tip everyone should know is to consciously challenge your negative thoughts. It's not so much about arguing with those thoughts, but questioning their validity. For instance, if you're thinking, nobody will ever like me, it's beneficial to ask yourself, is that absolutely true? What evidence do I have for this? This technique, which comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, helps in retraining your brain and managing your responses to such thoughts over time. However, we need to remember not to get caught up in these negative thoughts, especially if they are based on past events or situations. Rather than giving these negative thoughts power over you, acknowledge that they are not representative of you or your worth. Practicing this can be tricky, and it might not work perfectly from get-go. Gradually, with practice, it begins to feel more natural and the mind gets rewired. And remember, it's okay to accept uncertainty. You don't have to have all the answers. The bottom line is, don't let negative thinking control your happiness and well-being. Fight them, but remember that forcing them away might not always be the best approach. Learn to observe, accept, and move past them. Don't forget that slowing down the bad stuff is already a positive move. Do not be too hard on yourself when you stumble on your road to recovery. Every step you've taken matters, even if you experience a minor setback. Your progress doesn't reset to 0 with one mistake. So if you find yourself at a 5-minute mark, don't forget to acknowledge the 5 days, weeks, months, or even years of hard work that got you there. Do not let your mental illness define who you are. This is often easier said than done, as many of us struggle with severe mental health problems for extended periods. Sometimes it can feel like if these illnesses were taken away, we wouldn't know who we were without them. To help with this, it's essential to start setting goals for yourself, both long and short term. Anything that gets you active and works towards your well-being can make a difference. Try writing it all down. It can help to make it feel less overwhelming when you see it in black and white. It's also helpful to remember that breaking things down into small steps can make them seem more manageable, like doing just 5 minutes of exercise a day to begin with. This approach can make even the most daunting tasks seem achievable. Remember that it is okay to take time and discover yourself beyond the mental illness. You can start by appreciating the little things that make you who you are. Write them down in a journal if it helps. The journey of self-discovery is gradual, and you don't have to rush it. Stick to it, and eventually you would have pages of things that make you unique, and remind yourself that you're much more than your illness. Everyone is unique, and everyone's way of coping and learning about themselves is different. But with patience, kindness, and support, you can learn not to let your mental health define you. Everyone should remember to drink plenty of water daily and get enough sleep. Staying on a regular schedule can really help maintain good mental health. Some days might be tough. If so, just try dealing with stuff one day or even 1 hour, 1 minute, or 1 second at a time. You'll get through it. If you're experiencing suicidal thoughts that last consistently for more than an hour or two, it's crucial to reach out for help. It's wrong to think you have to cope with such overwhelming feelings by yourself. So reach out. Don't be afraid to express what you're going through. As someone who has battled, it's all right to seek aid. It actually helped develop healthier coping mechanisms. But remember, everyone's journey is different. Therapy might work wonderfully for some, while others might need a different approach. It's totally fine to take a sick day for your mental well-being. It's known as a mental health day. I've realized taking one every couple of months in my stressful job helps prevent me from falling sick repeatedly. One mental health tip that everyone should know is that forgiveness is not for the person you're forgiving, but for you to find peace with the situation. It's a great reminder to all of us. Just reset your nervous system in 12 seconds. It's simple. Just breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, then breathe out of your mouth, pretend you're blowing through a skinny straw for 8 seconds. It helps slow down your heart rate, gets your breath steady, and shifts your brain from survival mode to rational thinking mode. It's like your own personal mind hack. And hey, hope you have a great day and keep those good mental health vibes going. Sure, here's a simple answer. Take time to remember that we each live our own unique lives with individual experiences and thoughts. This can foster more patience and empathy in our interactions. So, just keep on playing the leading role in your life's movie. We should keep striving for mental health reforms and not see seeking help as a negative thing. After all, the ultimate aim is to get help for the person suffering, not to add to their woes. So speak up and provide a comforting presence. Sometimes, even a simple hug can do wonders. Also, don't let your neurodivergence define you. It's important to remember that people are generally more interested in your interests, hobbies, hobbies and passions rather than your mental issues. Avoid relating excessively to victim characters or stories in your entertainment. It seems like there's a tendency these days to be drawn towards the tragedy, but it's healthier to limit this. Remember that change is possible, and taking these steps could lead to a happier life. Try to get some sunshine or consider a vitamin D3 supplement because low levels can worsen depression. A tip that could help out, especially if you tend to overthink, is to ask yourself if what's bothering you now will matter in 5 years. If it's not something that will affect you in the long run, try not to spend more than a few minutes being upset about it. This might be somewhat hard to judge, but generally, you can make an educated guess. Will being late to a dinner or grabbing the wrong kind of potatoes from the store matter in 5 years? Likely not. Something bigger, like crashing a car, may be a different story. But minor annoyances or mishaps? Probably not worth the energy to stress over. In conclusion, maintaining mental health involves recognizing and addressing deeper issues, seeking help when necessary, and celebrating small victories. It's important to curate the content you consume, set boundaries in relationships, and find joy in activities that keep you active. Remember to prioritize your well-being by surrounding yourself with supportive people, avoiding negativity, and allowing yourself to find happiness from within. Progress is a journey of small steps, and it's okay to be afraid as long as you keep moving forward. Your mental health matters, and it's never too late to start healing. If you liked these tips about life, you can get more on the channel, so consider subscribing.